The transport of the Astros system of the Marine Corps by the Brazilian Air Force is a significant milestone in the interoperability between the Brazilian Navy and the Brazilian Air Force, demonstrating the logistical and operational capability of the Brazilian Armed Forces. A notable event related to this system occurred on March 21, 2025, when for the first time, the Astros vehicle of the Marine Corps Artillery Battalion, coupled with the Mansup surface-to-ship missile, was transported by the FAB's KC-390 Millennium aircraft.
Transportada pela aeronave KC-390 Millennium da FAB. Olá, combatentes do canal Arte da Guerra. Se tem uma coisa que a guerra...
Hello, warriors of the Arte da Guerra channel. If there's one thing the war in Ukraine has already made clear, among other lessons, it's the importance of using massive fire artillery pieces, like the HIMARS from the United States. Here in Brazil, we have a very good equivalent, which is on par with its international competitors, the Astros system. And the Brazilian Air Force, together with the Navy, the Marine Corps Artillery Battalion, accomplished an impressive feat this week, which I consider the most important achievement of Brazilian arms in the year 2025 so far. It was the transport of the KC-390 aircraft, the Millennium, manufactured by Embraer, of an Astros piece from the Galeão Air Base to Fortaleza. But let's let the members of the Air Force and the Navy tell the story themselves, and then we'll return with our comments. Stay with us.
Depois a gente volta com os nossos comentários. Acompanhe conosco.
Today I am here at the Galeão Air Base to carry out the transport of the Astros Mansup vehicle of the Brazilian Navy, a large vehicle with an estimated weight of 24,000 kilograms. This vehicle presents a great complexity in its loading due to its size. Therefore, all the care and preparation of the crew are necessary. The strategic partnership between the Brazilian Navy and the Brazilian Air Force underscores the importance of this strategic moment for national defense, maximizing the potential use of the KC-390 Millennium aircraft. But it's also important to remember the distance from Rio de Janeiro to Fortaleza. It's almost 2,600 kilometers, and the KC-390 operated almost at its load limit, since the Astros launcher vehicle weighs 24 tons. So it really is a great achievement for Brazil. We just landed in Fortaleza, bringing the Navy's Astros vehicle. This mission is very significant, as it was the first time the Brazilian Air Force conducted an air logistics transport of an Astros vehicle. This vehicle weighs around 24 tons, so a lot of planning was done. It's a big challenge, as we operate almost at the aircraft's limit. Well, folks, you saw the testimony of the military upon arrival. It was truly a very emotional and very cool achievement. It shows that Brazil is capable of moving a strategic piece like the Astros in a short time over a vast distance. Brazil is a continental country, we have to remember that. But now let's show the details of how the operation went at the Galeão Air Base. Then I'll return with some more considerations, because, as I always say, this achievement is extremely important. I remember when there was a transport of Astros a few years ago, but it took a long time to reach the Amazon. People complained a lot, but we always have to remember this issue, that Brazil is a continental country. Moving by land is complicated, especially on the roads in the North region. You are subject to a series of problems, and it doesn't have all the infrastructure we have here in the Southeast. So, the arrival now of the air mobility capability of these pieces through the KC-390 is a very big boost for the Brazilian Armed Forces. We are going to take a look behind the scenes, and then I'll come back with a few more comments. Well, folks, here is the arrival at the Galeão Air Base, which is already well known to the Marine Corps, because we have to remember that the amphibious division is located there on Governor's Island, where the Galeão Air Base is found. So, the Marines conduct many operations with the Brazilian Air Force at Galeão, and it's very interesting. You observe the dimensions of the Astros in front of the aircraft, the KC-390. The whole system fits in the cargo hold. It was really a very beautiful job of accommodation by the FAB crew members. You are seeing the vehicle in comparison with the aircraft as well. Before this boarding takes place, there is a whole preparation with logistics personnel, operations personnel, and the aircraft's loadmaster. Everyone works together to ensure there are no problems. Well, folks, first of all, I want to pay tribute to all the personnel who appeared in the video. So Sergeant Lucas Baradas da Ascensão Terra, who is the loadmaster, the cargo master. Captain Aviator Israel Amorim Barbosa Leal, who is the pilot. Captain Torres also, who appears in the video. Frigate Captain Silva, and Frigate Captain Daniel de Campos Luderman, who is the commander of the Marine Artillery Battalion. To all of you, our brave Zulu, okay folks? I mean the following people. We have to remember that if it were a few years ago, this mission would have to be carried out either by truck, which would take days to reach Fortaleza, or by ships as well, where you would take it to the port of Rio de Janeiro, board a ship, and then disembark in Fortaleza. Now things have changed. We are able to reach Fortaleza or other points in Brazil in a matter of hours. So, it really is a paradigm shift for the Brazilian armed forces. We have truly made a leap compared to all other Latin American countries, because the Astros system is one of the most important systems that exist, not only in Brazil, but in the southern hemisphere of the planet. And that's why we fight so much here on the Arte da Guerra channel, to save Avibras. It's a heritage we cannot lose. Avibras, I remember, is the manufacturer of the Astros system. So, I want to take this opportunity to remind you of a symposium happening this week on March 27th in São José dos Campos. I will be giving a lecture there. I want to show you the symposium, and then I want to make some more comments. Let's take a look at the symposium on the Defense Industrial Base, which will take place on March 27th, 2025, at the Metal Workers Union in São José dos Campos and region. So I'll leave you the link for registration. Gustavo Machado will be there. General Neva will also be there. The union people. It's going to be really great. I will speak on the 27th. I should be one of the first to give the lecture. Why? Because in the afternoon, we have another event in São Paulo. I'll leave the link there. I don't know if it will be possible to watch it by video, but it's very important that you support this event. Today, I also have to remember that now in May, a delegation will leave from Brazil, Ricardo Raus, Professor Legina, and we will visit Russia on May 9th, during the celebrations of the end of World War II. I want to take the opportunity to visit various museums in Russia, and we want to have the opportunity to get in touch with their military technology, which is very important. It broadens our capacity to see, to understand, right, the strategy, the tactics, and even how Russia's military projects are conducted. So it's going to be a trip full of learning. For those who want to go, I'll leave for you now. I'll put on the screen the contacts for Rota da Seda, Chaika, which is the company organizing our trip. I'll leave the contacts here in the video description, as well as the contacts for those who want to register for the Avibras Symposium. Let's take a look at Rota da Seda. Well, folks, there's the itinerary for the trip to Russia, the Victory Day special. So the company is Rota da Seda Bara Chaika, which organized a very nice itinerary for us to visit museums and various attractions in Russia. So I'll leave for you here the contacts for Rota da Seda. The one that appears there is located in Vila Madalena. There's the email. It won't be here in the description either. There's also WhatsApp.
Também vai estar aqui na descrição também, tem também o WhatsApp. Vale a pena vocês darem uma ligadinha, não mandar.
It's worth giving them a call or sending a WhatsApp or an email to get the details of this unmissable trip. Well, folks, so whoever wants to go, right, buy the ticket, get the package there with Chaika/Silk Road, because you'll see a lot, and we'll have a nice chat. Remember that this is not a promotion by the Arte de Guerra channel. It's by the company. We're just doing some advertising for them. Because since we're going, it's important for our channel's audience to know that this trip is happening. So we're very happy with this initiative by the Marine Corps, the Air Force, Avibras, and Embraer as well. Let's see if we can promote other initiatives like this. We'll be back soon, always with responsibility and commitment. Faith in Brazil, folks. See you later.
Compromisso. Fé no Brasil, pessoal. É mais. Bom, gente, na nossa lista de desejos que se encontra aqui na descrição do...
Well, folks, in our wish list found in the video description, you'll find many books about the war in Ukraine. And I remind you that books delivered by Amazon's delivery system arrive quite quickly. But if you're from the generation that prefers a Kindle book, you can download it instantly. The prices are very good, the topics are quite up to date, and they will give you a very clear picture of what's happening in the war in Ukraine. And I remind you that every time you buy books and other items on Amazon, you are supporting the Arte de Guerra channel.
Vocês estão ajudando o canal Arte da Guerra.